It's really a pleasure to be here with you today for the Peace One Day event in Uganda, as one of the events in the Great Lakes region being held to commemorate world peace. I would like to express my warmest thanks to my brother, Jeremy, for his kind invitation to UN Women. We are very pleased to be part of the Countdown to Peace Day Forum in Kampala and congratulate Jeremy and his team, and also the Howard Buffett Foundation for a job well done in organizing this very important event. As you might know, there has been an overwhelming evidence from around the world that women's empowerment is a powerful force for economic growth, social and political stability, and sustainable peace. Increasing evidence shows that the larger the gender gap between women and men in a society, the more likely that society is to engage in armed conflict and to resort to high levels of violence. Studies are showing that the treatment of women is a better predictor of state stability and peacefulness than is the level of wealth, its level of democracy, or its ethno-religious identity. Empowering women economically, ensuring the participation of women and girls in decision-making processes, and enabling women's active role in prevention and resolution of conflicts are therefore critical for sustainable peace. The underlying messages of the of the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 was to remind the Security Council that women's leadership is an untapped resource for peace, and that the injustices and inequalities embedded in gender relations are a long-term threat to peace, security, and stability. While remarkable achievements have been made at the normative level since the resolution was adopted in 2000, including 6 further resolutions, national and regional action plans, policy guidelines on gender-sensitive mediation, to name but a few accomplishments, implementation of the resolution still lags behind words and has very limited and uneven results. This year is an important year for the Women, Peace and Security agenda, as it marks 15th anniversary of the resolution. To emphasize the importance of the Women, Peace and Security agenda, and partially in response to the continuing lagging implementation, the United Nations Security Council is undertaking a high-level review of women, peace, and security in October 2015 with the support of UN Women. This global study has been coordinated at a regional level by an important women's organization in Uganda, ISIS Wiki, and we're very pleased for them to contribute to the process. In the Great Lakes region, women and girls in particular have been differentially affected by conflict in the form of increased levels of sexual and gender-based violence, societal marginalization, forced displacement, and loss of livelihood and decreased access to education. But women are not simply victims and survivors of armed conflict. They also play an important and active role in peace-building processes. The multiple roles of women in conflict must be better understood and addressed, especially recognizing their potential role to harness peace, as and in many cases they're recognized as agents of peace. In Uganda, I think we're very much commending the country for the important work that it has done to contributing peace in the region, in particular in hosting the Great Lakes Training Facility for Sexual and Gender-Based Violence, which aims to equip training to police investigators to track sexual and gender-based crimes, and holding international and national courts in the 12 countries to advance persecution. Uganda is also commended, as we heard earlier, in the development of a peace policy. It's important to note that civil society organizations, in particular women's groups, have been actively involved to ensure that the peace policy has a gender component, and we were very much grateful for the inclusion of women and civil society, as well as the United Nations, in supporting the peace process, and the Office of the Prime Minister is commended for that. Uganda has also been taking an active role. Yeah, you can clap for them. Yeah, well done. Uganda has also been taking an active role in translating policies to action. Every year, the 16 Days of Activism have been involving numerous organizations, both in government and civil society, to bring into light the challenges that implementation of the policies of the domestic violence, the traffic laws that are there to reality. In 2013, it's important to note that the 16 Days of Activism, the theme was from peace in the home to peace in the nation, ensuring that sexual violence is a responsibility of not only for the policymakers, but also for the communities and the homes. We're also important to support at UN level the Open Day forums that have been taking place throughout the year in partnership with civil society, where women groups come together to state their concerns in terms of issues of violence and their contributions to peace in supporting the efforts that are there. I'm very pleased to see the representation of a number of women's organizations that we work with in Uganda, and also government officials who are here today and members of the UN family. I commend all of you for your key roles and efforts and strong will to create and nurture and sustain a culture of peace and security. We hope together that we can strengthen synergies that promote gender equality, development, and peace, and also to take into heart the principles of the UN resolutions on peace and security. On behalf of UN Women, I thank you again for the kind invitation and wish much success in your deliberations.